Hello, great people. The media has been awash with news that a Canadian woman was arrested with large parcels of illicit drugs at the Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos, Nigeria. In this video, I'll be discussing 4 things with you, which I tag are lies, are truth, why she may be forgiven, and why she should not be forgiven. So you need to sit back, relax, and let me give you all the insightful analysis or about the Canadian woman illicit drug case. But first, let me inform you that I'll be attaching the pictures of the woman, the illicit drugs that she was caught with. I'll be attaching it to this video. Now, let us have some great discussion. The parcel of drugs that you can see there, that's too much of drugs for somebody to carry. You would have known that when people carry drugs, what they do is they ingest it so that it cannot be easily be dictated by the security agencies, both at the country of departure and the country of arrival. But for somebody to carry this large parcel of drug inside a normal luggage, you question yourself that, was this woman charmed? Was she under a spell? Or was she told that Nigeria is a lawless country? Or was she told that the illicit drug that she was carrying is an approved drug in Nigeria? Because ordinarily, based on this kind of large parcels that we are seeing on the screen, you would imagine that, does this woman have any other thing like maybe clothes, food, shoes? Because this large parcel that we are seeing, for somebody to, I think it goes beyond the eye, for somebody to just carry this kind of large parcel and take it enter a plane. So you wonder that, madam, why too many drugs? Is it that you consume this kind of drugs? Are you sick? And these drugs has been recommended for you that, oh, now that you are sick, it is only these illicit drugs that you can be taking. Because if that is not the case, why will you conceal this large parcel of drugs inside your normal luggage and believe that you can just stroll into a country like that? Then another thing is that we need to consider, how did this woman bypass the Canadian checkpoint? The Canadian government has better security architecture, better technology, infrastructure than Nigeria. So you would have think that ordinarily she should have been intercepted at the Canadian airport. So you imagine that this drug was not ingested into her stomach. So some of you watching me that have traveled abroad before, you will see that, did they not place this luggage? Did they not place it inside those digital scanners at the airport? Did this luggage not pass through any kind of checking at the airport at all? Then you may want to ask yourself that, if peradventure it didn't pass through any checking, let's think that if what this woman is carrying happened to be bomb, is that how the bomb would have scaled through the Canadian checkpoint? If what she's carrying is different kind of guns, is that how those guns would have scaled through the Canadian airport? So it leaves much to concern that ordinarily you would think that this kind of this amount of illicit drugs will not pass through the Canadian checkpoint. So Nigerian security agencies has to liaise with the Canadian security agency to see that there are no fifth columnists at the Canadian airport. Is it that some people, secluded the bag from the normal routine checks? So Nigerian authorities must not only, in trying to track the syndicate, of course they must liaise with Canadian government, and one of the goal is to begin to investigate the Canadian airport, that how did this amount of drug was able to escape your checkpoint. Now another thing that we need to look at is this woman, in fairness to the woman, could it be that this woman is a victim of love scam or a member of a syndicate? That's the way I see it. She's either a member of a very strong drug syndicate, very strong one, bold and fearless, or she is a victim of love scam. Most of you watching me are Nigerians, and you know the way that some of our people do in terms of trying to cajole some of these foreign ladies into doing anything. I have been abroad before, whereby I've seen like cases whereby Nigerians will tell the foreign lady to go and get loan and use it to help them. Some of them will even impregnate the foreign ladies, then relocate to another country. Then the lady's life will be in shambles. And you know that Oyinbo, they sabi love well. They love with all their heart. So once they are in love with you, if you tell them, do this, and you try to convince them, they will definitely do it. So two things. It's either the lady is a victim of a terrible love scam, or she is the victim of a syndicate. Either ways, whether syndicate, whether love scam, this parcel of drugs will cost a lot of money. So it brings me back to the audacity. Even if you are a syndicate, at least you still try to conceal this thing, not this level of amount of drugs being conveyed into a country at a time. And even if even if the woman is a victim of love scam, then you question yourself that, madam, when they were giving this kind of large consignment to you, is it that Shena love cover your veil? Is love the veil in your face that you can't think, that you can't see? Even if you can't see, you also cannot think. Like, is it that the spell is so high, or the love is so intoxicating, or they didn't tell you what is in the parcel? But of course, she knew what is in the parcel. So you imagine that what is going on. So the lady said she carried the drugs because she needs money to pay her student loan. That is a lie. The reason is that in Canada, there are social incentives in such a way that if you want to go to school, if you are not too brilliant to acquire a scholarship, you can use the avenue of student loan to pay your school fees. That's correct. But the lie there is that there is job in Canada. You don't need to carry drugs before you can pay your student loan. Because the truth is, even if you have money to pay back all the amount of your student loan, let's say your total student loan is 50,000 Canadian dollars. You cannot go to the bank or to the school and say you want to pay back the loan at once, and that, oh, take, this is the $50,000. No. The security agencies there will come after you. It is not like Nigeria. They'll begin to investigate you that, how did you get this money to pay back this loan all at once? And the Canadian system is so flexible that you have to pay the money instrumentally. You can pay the money for so many years. They'll be deducting it from your salary every month till you pay the money back in full. So if you have that kind of system that you are not being pressurized, and in the Canadian system there is low unemployment, you cannot be unemployed except you don't want to work. So even if you are owing student loan and government is not saying come and pay this money right now immediately, and there is job, what do you need to carry narcotics for? So that argument or that assertion that she needs it to pay back her student loan, it's a pure lie, because the Canadian government will not come with you with so much force for you to pay back your student loan. But there's one thing that comes to mind, which is I hope that this lady will not be a beneficiary of diplomatic relations. Because if you look at it, Canada is a strong country, a first world country, a developed country, an ally of other strong countries, US, UK, Germany, France. And Nigeria, in the true sense of it, is a weak country, a fragile country. So fragile and weak country, when they are relating with strong countries, when the strong countries are making demands, the fragile country, or if you like weak countries, or if you like third world countries, what they do is they easily succumb to the demands of the strong countries. So I hope that this woman will not be a beneficiary of diplomatic relations, because Nigeria is a weak country. Nigerian government need to realize one thing. If it were to be a Nigerian, the world would have heard it. In fact, it will be reported in CNN. When Hush Puppy was arrested, the white Oyinbo people, they made documentaries about it. You can check on Google. They made documentaries about Hush Puppy. All the international media carried it that a Nigerian fraudster has been busted and arrested in Dubai. So if it were to be Nigerian, they would have publicized it. They would have, even Canadians wouldn't have given Nigerians much benefit of the doubt. They would have been stereotyping Nigerians. So now that a Canadian have got it wrong here, I would like to see a situation whereby that Canadian lady is brought to book here. The reason is that many Nigerians are being brought to book abroad. And some of these countries, even if Nigeria try to intercede, they don't allow. That diplomatic disrespect was what caused a strained relation between Nigeria and Singapore. Singapore was to execute a Nigerian. I think that was during Obasanjo's times many years ago. Not his democratic rule, though. I think it was his military rule. And Nigerian government was interceding. Singaporean government allegedly went ahead to execute that Nigerian. So Nigerians have suffered a lot. Go to foreign prisons, you see a lot of Nigerians there. So when the whites come to Nigeria to commit an infraction, I think it will gladden the heart of Nigerians, and it will be justice well served for Nigerians in foreign prisons, for some of these foreigners that commit infractions against our law to also be in Kirikiri or Kuje prison. Now, I won't end this video without giving kudos to the Nigerian customs. Kudos to the Nigerian customs. Although Nigerian customs are fond of behaving like businessmen. Oftentimes, it's not only custom, even at the airport, immigration officials, you see them looking as if they are businessmen. When they are interacting with you, they are all after money. Not to talk of when they are interacting with the white people. There was a time I was to board a plane out of Nigeria, and a Chinese man was in front of me. So the immigration official was telling the Chinese man that, Alpha, you want to leave my country now. What do you have for me? I was very sad. I felt like intervening. And he was busy probing the Chinese man that, give me something now. I'm like, you are ridiculing Nigeria. You are rubbishing the country. I felt like telling him that, let him go. I will give you something. But then it now occurred to me that that is his stock in trade. If I had given him, I would have just wasted my money, because he would still tax the next person behind me. So Nigerian immigration officials, Nigerian customs at the airport, they largely behave like businessmen. But kudos on this, in this instance, that they were able to apprehend such a woman. And another kudos for them in the sense that they didn't allow themselves to be lured by money. When that woman is under pressure and they've apprehended her, if they bill her and say, oh, we will receive so amount of pounds, we will let you go, but we won't release the drug to you. Because the woman is under pressure at that point in time. She may have agreed to such a plan, and the custom guys can still end up selling this illicit drug that they've seized from the Canadian woman into the Nigerian market, and that is huge amount of money for them. So kudos to Nigerian custom, kudos to Nigerian immigration in this instance. You know, when they do right, we must be able to say it, and when they do wrong, we will condemn them. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omosholadeji. Dr. Omosholadeji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and on this channel, we analyze politics and happenings in the politics. So if you are yet to subscribe, If you are yet to turn on the notification button, do what to do these things, because this is where we drop unbiased lyrics. We are bipartisan on this platform, and trust me, you will enjoy every bit of it. Do well to catch up with my past videos and look forward to my next videos. Till I see you again, of course, very soon. God bless you all. I love you sincerely.